This is Chance Willis. I'm partners with Dalton Hinson on this project, and I'll be doing some of the voiceover. I won't be reading absolutely every single word from every slide, but I will go through some of the main points, and then I'll let Dalton further elaborate on them. So let's get it started. This is Tajikistan. This is the introduction. Tajikistan is the smallest out of all 5 of the Central Asian states. Though it is the smallest, it ranks as having the highest elevation, enclosing more and higher mountains than any other country in the region. The highest of these mountains being the Mini Ismail Samani Peak at 24,590 feet. From 1929 until its independence in 1991, Tajikistan was a constituent republic. The capital of Tajikistan is Dushanbe. Here's a thesis statement, nice and short for you. Tajikistan is geographically small, but visually appealing. The country builds and survives off its abundance of natural resources, trading and protection of neighboring, stronger Central Asian countries. A little bit about the history. The Tajiki people are descendants of Iran, and the name Tajik, originally given to the Arabs by the local population, came to be applied by Turkic invaders and overlords of those elements of the sedentary population that continued to speak Iranian languages. Dalton wants to further elaborate on the rest of these bullet points, and feel free to. The culture. The staple food in Tajikistan is rice, meat, bread, and a variety of spices, which comes to no surprise. Popular sports in Tajikistan are Gushtingiri, a form of wrestling, Shavgonbazi, and Buzkaji, a form of polo. Buzkaji is played by capturing and retaining control of a goat carcass rather than usually using a ball like traditional polo. So it's a very extreme form of polo if you ask me, but nothing I would be too interested in playing. A little bit about the geographical features. 90% of Tajikistan's territory is mountainous, and like it was brought up in the introduction, how it actually holds some of the highest mountain peaks in the surrounding countries around them. Residing at, I think it was 24,000 feet. Correct me if I'm wrong. But and then the icy coated peaks of the Pamir mountain system occupy the southeast. The largest are the western portion of the Fergana Valley in the north, and the Gisar, Vaksha, Yavansul, Obikik, Lower Kofarnihan, and Pan valleys to the south. I'll probably just butcher those names, but I'm just going to ignore that. Government and political matters. In 1994, voters approved a new constitution. And the prime minister, appointed by the president and confirmed by the legislature, serves as the head of the government. And also, executive authority is held by the president. The language. Tajik is the official language of Tajikistan. It's associated with the origins of the Iranian language. This picture is just a little portion of the alphabet. As we actually brought up in our draft, Dalton had said that the Cyrillic alphabet actually has far more pieces to it than this right here. And it says Tajik is written in the Cyrillic alphabet also. People in Tajikistan use Russian when referring to business matters, but it is rarely used in everyday interaction. And then Uzbek is also the second most common used language in Tajikistan. The flag and map here, you can see the map right here. And then the flag was in our introduction. A map will show you that Tajikistan is a landlocked country in Central Asia. Sorry, excuse me. The red in the flag represents the mother Russia. The green is a representation of the valued food supply in the country. The white represents Tajikistan's famous cotton crop. The crown in the middle represents the country's precious freedom. And I was sort of admiring the flag the other day just because I thought the colors were beautiful. Natural resources. Here, I'll let Dalton go through this slide here. I'll skip over that. Economic relations and trade partners. Tajikistan is very dependent on the country's agricultural success. 2/5 of the country's workforce is invested in agricultural services. In 2010, Tajikistan's top trading partners were China, Russia, Kazakhstan, Iran, and Turkey. Main imports were food sources, machinery, and petroleum. Metal, gold, cotton, ore, and electricity are some of the main exports. Tajikistan has been trying to join the Eurasian Economic Community since 2015. Indigenous people. Really not much to say here, except that there is a variety of people that reside in the country of Tajikistan, but the main portion is actually Tajik. And it is brought up that 84.3% of the population is Tajik, according to the 2010 census, and 12.2% of the population was Uzbek. And there's very small. There's multiple different parts of the portions of the population, but they come in very small percentages. Religion. It is well known that the vast majority of Tajikistanis are Muslim, mostly of the Sunni Hanafi school, located primarily in the Pamirs. A small percentage of the Muslim are Isma Ilishi. Most of the Christian population is predominantly Russian. In 2010, it was shown that 96.7% of the Muslims were the majority, over 1.6 Christian, and 1.7 of the other were unaffiliated or other religions. Sorry. And here's a little bit of the foreign relations. I'm going to let Dalton go over that because that's a little more important, so I'm letting him do that in person. The Tajikistan Military. So I'll go over this last point right here. The size of the military is about 16,800. The budget is said to be at 79 million US dollars, and the military is currently ranked 99 out of 140 of the countries. I thought that was very interesting to be such a small military but still have a budget of $79 million. I think we all know just how much money that is. And I'll let Dalton go over the top 3 bullet points here. Education literacy. Now, as I brought up in class the other day, I'm not really sure how much I do believe this also. It says that they have an official literacy rate of 98%. And it says, while this may seem very high, also the poor quality education since 1991 has reduced the skill level of younger people. Education is compulsory, but many children do not attend because of economic needs and security concerns in many other regions. Protestant efforts have helped the literacy rate to increase greatly. A little bit about the social conditions. I'm going to let Dalton go over this too because it's very important, and I think that's part of the reason why this country struggles so much. Conclusion, I'll also let Dalton do that.